Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Marco Day Christian Apologetics. I'm glad to be back. This past 2 weeks has kept me very busy with my local church, with the celebration of the resurrection of Christ, and all of this going on. But today I'm back with another video about atheists who claim that the gospel is 4 different Bibles.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
We're going to get into this video, and I'm going to let Wallace of Cold Case Christianity explain this in more detail. But I'm going to also give my view of how you should look at variations of testimonies and so on. Let's get into the video.
Matthew 28, verses 1 and 2. Now after the Sabbath, toward the dawn of the first day, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and rolled back the stone and sat on it.
No. There was no angel. Mark 16, 4-5, right? When they looked and they saw that the stone was rolled away, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were affrighted.
I don't know what Bible you guys are reading out of, but I'm looking right here in Luke chapter 24, verses 1-4. On the first day of the week at early dawn, they went to the tomb, and they found the tomb empty. The stone had already been rolled away. And then there also weren't angels. They went in and they were perplexed, and then suddenly 2 men appeared behind them, dressed in dazzling apparel.
What? What are you talking about, man?
Each of the eyewitness testimonies that came onto the scene of the resurrection, they all give a different perspective. And I'm going to make an example of what I mean about this. Say, for instance, you are one of the eyewitnesses of a car accident. One person might say that a white car came flying by and hit a lamppost and it rolled down a hill. Another person will come and said, I saw a white car down the hill lying there, but I never said something about the lamppost. Does that mean that there was no lamppost involved? Another one will come there and say, I think there was a car accident here, but there was no car. Does that mean the car accident never happened? Or does that simply mean that when I got there, the EMTs were already there and the person was taken to hospital and the wreckage was already moved away? These are 3 different perspectives. If you put it all together, it will make perfect sense. But don't take my word for it. Let's listen to J. Warner Wallace of Cold Case Christianity, and he was a detective before he became a Christian, and he values the separation of eyewitnesses because they don't want them to speak the same thing. You don't want 4 different people telling you exactly the same story, because then you're going to know the story has been cooked up. The slight variants are there for a reason, so that you can have confidence in what this guy is saying and that guy is saying, and you can just put everything together and see for yourself if this makes sense or not. So let's listen to J. Warner Wallace, and we're going to see what he has to say about this.
Don't the Gospels disagree in certain places? Are there variations between these accounts? I've never worked a case where I had 2 witnesses who ever agreed entirely about what they were telling me. This thing could have happened 5 minutes ago. It wouldn't matter. Why do you think the first thing, well, I get called in the middle of the night to go out to a crime scene or to go out to a murder scene. I have one request of the dispatcher who's calling me on the phone. Have them separate the eyewitnesses. Why do I ask for that? Because I don't want to get there and find out they've been talking to each other for an hour and a half, and now I've got one story repeated 4 times. Instead, what I want to see is the kind of variation between the stories that is the hallmark of legitimate, reliable eyewitness testimony. It turns out the variations I saw as a new investigator who was not a Christian reading the Gospels was exactly the kind of variation I would expect to see from reliable eyewitnesses. Do not allow the differences between the Gospels to shake you. That should give you confidence that you're actually reading something.
So they heard it from J. Warner Wallace. But I want to bring your attention to something else. Surprisingly, I have 4 children. And One day I came home and all of them were playing outside. And I asked them, why are you playing outside? Aren't you want to watch TV? And when three of them give me something different, then I know this is something else. They all gave me a different explanation of why they're playing outside. And I went inside and I saw the TV was broken. So, looking at the evidence of their testimonies, I could have come to a conclusion that something was wrong. The same way we can look at the gospel writings and the eyewitness testimonies they gave of the account of the resurrection and of all the other accounts involving Jesus Christ. Because of the slight variations, you can compare them and see if all the stories fit together. And when you do that, you will understand that all of them put together gives you a coherent story and a coherent framework in knowing and seeing who the person of Jesus Christ really was. This is not something new, and I think it's a very low view of them as well to put this out there as if it's a massive claim against Christianity, because really it's not. It is not a massive claim against Christianity. It is merely them building their own straw man and then refuting the straw man in 1 minute. Everybody can do this. Everybody can do this. That's why nobody can really challenge the Darwin theory of evolution, because who else was doing the investigation with Darwin? It was Charles Darwin. And so when we look at the gospel writings and the gospel writers' accounts, and we see the coherency in their statements, in their way that they saw things, and if we put everything together, you get a fuller picture of the life and the witness of Jesus Christ. If this video has blessed you, and if you would like to support this channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, forward this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Stay well. God bless. Amen.